Here's a small sample of a couple of cables. The basic idea with cables is the main stitches of the cable are knit, and then the background stitches are purled, and this pops out the cable in the knitting. And basically all it is knitting these cable stitches, and then every now and then twisting the cable. To twist it, all you'll do is, you'll get to the cable. You'll be purling these stitches to get to the cable, and then when you get to the cable, you're actually going to knit the last half of the cable stitches and then the first half of the cable stitches. And to do this, you use a cable needle. So this is a basic cable needle. It's just a wooden stick with points on both ends. You can get metal ones that have like a dip in them. They always have a dip in the metal ones because the metal ones are so slippery they just slide right out of the work. But the wooden ones are less slippery and they'll stay in the work. They won't fall out unless you're using a really tiny one or something. So to do this row, you'll just purl your way to the cable. And when you get to those knit stitches of the cable, you're going to slip the first half of them onto your cable needle. And then you just let the cable needle hang. In this case, you're letting it hang in the front of the work. That will give you a left sloping cable like this. So you let it hang there and just try to get it out of the way and knit the next stitches, the other half of the cable stitches, and stop when you get to those purl stitches. So then you'll just be knitting the first half right off the cable knit, right off the cable needle. So this is the 3 stitches from the cable needle, and that's it. You've twisted the cable. That's for your left sloping cable. For a right sloping cable, you'll do those purl stitches until you get to the cable. Then you'll slip the stitches in the same way, the first half of the cable's stitches. Slip them onto the cable needle. And this time, instead of letting them hang in the front of the work, all you do is let them hang in the back when you knit the second half of the cable stitches. So then you'll just knit those first cable stitches right off the cable needle, and you don't ever twist the cable needle around. You just leave it in the same orientation it had. Oops, there goes the rest of my knitting. So there's the right sloping cable. So that's it. That's all there is to cables. And you'll just continue knitting and purling plain, just knitting the knit stitches, purling the purl stitches for however many rows until you have to twist again. In this case, it was 5 rows of plain knitting and purling and then 1 row that you have to twist. And for more complicated cables, some of them look like braids where there's 3 cables. That's just mini cables within cables. So it's actually pretty, it can look really complicated, but if you look closely at the cable, all you're doing is doing a mini cable at a time. Sometimes they're interspersed so that they look really complex, but cables just have this basic idea of twisting the stitches. So give it a try.